Hey, everybody, it's the Life of an Average Joe podcast. Brandon Avera here. So I'm doing it a little bit different today, obviously, because I have been really just exhausted and tired. Um, I had a lot going on, guys. Like, I told everybody that August was going to be brutal. I mean, like a brutal month. And it was just that. It was a brutal month. My green screen right now is because I'm not recording where I normally record. I don't want to. I don't want to sit in that chair. I don't want to do it, guys. This has been rough, and I felt it coming this month. Just to kind of put it in perspective before I get into this. And by the way, I'm done recording for September, so I'm so happy. I'm going to start my creepy Oktoberfest or my October Halloween episodes that I do soon. So I'm so happy that I'm way ahead. So we'll be back. I know I said that last week. I'll be back to my normal videos and setup and all that. Actually, a little bit different setup because I did tweak out the recording studio a little, which is way better, by the way. And I got some new lighting, although I'm pretty happy with my old lighting or the last round of lighting I got, but I just got some new equipment. And as we approach the new year, I'm pretty excited about the way the podcast is going as far as production level goes and some of the topics. But in the meantime, I was listening. This episode was recorded already. And I went back and I said, well, I want to tell everybody kind of what's been going on as far as health goes. I'm just going to add to this episode. And then I was like, I'm just going to re-record this, but I'm re-recording in my chill spot. So hence the green screen of Cornfield, which is appropriate for this episode. To paint the perspective for the next 10 minutes, or the picture, not the perspective. The last month has been brutal. You know, we had 4th of July, which was great in July. Kind of some calm before the storm. I had a beer reset at work. Then I had 2 weeks later the year anniversary of the location. And then I had a week later, I had a wine reset, which caused me to work overnight for 2 nights and long, long days. On top of Luke getting ready to go back to school at that time, or did go back to school at that time, and started football. You see where I'm going here? Not including everything else. Then a week later, I had to prepare for an inventory, which I knew about for months, but you can only prepare so far out. And usually the week prior is when I would get a lot of the stuff done. But I was too busy dealing with the wine reset to even focus on that. So I ran a week behind on my inventory prep. And then I had a week of inventory prep to do with football, with back to school, and with life. And then Saturday, I was getting ready to take Luke to his mom's. And in the morning, I got up, was getting his breakfast ready, went to the bathroom, went pee, paint that picture. There you go. And I was like, oh, let me grab my vitamins real quick. And I was like, where are they? And I forgot. I just cleaned everything off the counter Friday afternoon. So my bathroom was spotless. Took everything off the counter. I don't like a lot of stuff on the counter in the bathroom. It's just, I don't know. I don't like it. I mean, that's how I lost my beard trimmer, right? So I bend down. Not weird, guys. Just not even all the way to open the cupboard, grab the vitamins, turned around to leave. And I got this sharp shooting, horrible pain on my left side, went into my arm, went in my shoulder, felt the back of my shoulder, massive pressure on my chest. Guys, I've never had a heart attack. I pray to God I don't get one, but I thought it was that. Took my breath away when I walked, hurt when I was breathing. I thought I was going to have to call 911 or have Luke call 911. I thought I was going to have his mom meet us at the hospital. Like, I was scared, not going to lie, scared. And I had to be cool because I can't let him freak out, and I need him to be calm, and I need him to potentially call 911. So I said, hey man, Dad is hurting right now. I don't know what happened. Give me a minute, buddy. He's like, well, if you got a cold, you got to do this. Like, he's trying to tell me what to do to take care of myself. And I lift my arm up, my left arm, and I'm like, God, that hurts. And then I feel this. I still have this weird ball knot thing in my back, shoulder blades, and it sucked. And the pain, they always ask you on a scale of 1 to 10, what is it? It was a 9. I couldn't breathe. Went away after a couple minutes, and then like it just shifted all the way to my back between my shoulder blades. And that's all knotted up from the stress and everything. Breathing started to get better, and I was like, okay. So I thought to myself, I'm going to take him to his mom's after breakfast. I'm going to go to the doctor's on the way to work. So on the way to work, after I drop him off, I'm feeling about a 4 now. So it's way better. Still feels weird, and I'm like, let me just get through work. I got a lot of stuff to do. So I'm working. I get out about 8 o'clock, and I'm like driving home. And at this point, I'm like, do I just go to bed? I feel okay, but it's still there. Something's there. Something doesn't feel right. And I'm like, no, because if it is heart related, you don't get many warnings at all. And I don't need this to happen while I'm by myself. So I'm going. So I go in, I tell them everything. They hook me up to EKGs. They hook me up to all kinds of stuff, blah, blah, blah. Blood pressure's fine. EKGs are coming back okay. They ordered chest x-rays. I'm not sweating. I got no fever. I got no weird things. They ordered chest x-rays. I do that. They draw my blood. They're running all. I'm there till 12 o'clock at night. Heart's fine. Has nothing to do with my heart. They ran levels on everything. Blood pressure's perfect. I'm down 7.5 pounds. Every level connected to my heart or something that they could worry about, it's fine. They notice a little like color, like on my left lung, little color. I have this thing called, it's an inflammation of a lung caused by a virus in the lung. Not bronchitis, not pneumonia, but it's borderline. And it causes that. And that pain, the lung got bigger and inflamed and sent all the little, hey, I'm hurting out. And it caused me problems breathing, applied pressure on everything. The whole body stressed out on that side. And that's what it is. Okay. Give me a shot of steroids. Was taking 4 pills a day for 4 days of steroids on 2 more days of antibiotics. Dude, crazy thing is my left lung is damaged. I have had bronchitis and I've had pneumonia multiple times, and it's always in my left lung. It is susceptible to that. It's weakened. Never had that problem in Michigan. As soon as I got to Texas, boom. So usually about once a year, every other, I don't get pneumonia or bronchitis once a year, but I usually get some sort of, it's not even once a year. But let's just say in the 14 years I've been in Texas, I'd say half of those years I've had some issue with my left lung for a time in the winter or at some point. That sucks. Needless to say, it's kicked my butt. On top of everything, I think my immune system was just weakened from the stress of work and the exhaustion of work. It wasn't even that necessarily all stress, just the constant things I had to deal with. And now I just feel like I kind of got a cold. Like I'm a little stuffy. I'm tired. I don't have a big energy. So I'm much better, but it's not my heart. I always think it's my heart. So there you go. But because of that, guys, I have not wanted to sit there and record or anything. Thank God I'm done with September. I almost wasn't going to re-record this episode, but I wanted to like kind of explain what happened. I've had people ask. So I wanted to get that out there. But, we're approaching September. It's crazy, right? Because to me, once Labor Day happens, it lights a match all the way through the end of the year, and it happens so fast. And there's so much things that I have to do for work and Luke and Christmas and travel. And, it's just a really busy time of year. But it got me thinking of this time of year growing up and how it's different. We're in a cool spot right now in Texas. And I say that because it's not 100 degrees, but it is cool. It's like 73 in the morning, we're getting up to like 85. Like, I'll take that, okay? Because August has been about 100 every day. But in Michigan and the Midwest, you get this definitive Labor Day's over, and you know what's coming. You get to enjoy fall. I mean, we have football, and you get to feel that football weather. And I think if you don't experience that, then you don't know what I'm talking about. But it got me thinking about like all the fall things, because you guys know it's my favorite season. I've already drank my pumpkin spice latte. Okay, it dropped this week. Yes, I've had 3. I'm going into debt because of it. Can I afford it? No. Sure can't. Am I going to buy another one? Yeah. Do I regret it? Maybe. Am I going to do it again? Sure, 100%. But I'm ready for fall and I'm ready for Halloween. And it got me thinking about some of the things that I've done non-Halloween related in the fall. And I've talked about like picking apples at the apple orchard and like bonfires. But I was thinking about the time that we actually went to Ohio on purpose. Usually I try not to go to Ohio at all. Even Cedar Point doesn't excite me. But because Ohio's kind of like an armpit, like it's a Bermuda Triangle of the Midwest. You never get out of it. It's just this giant land of corn and horrible people, and except for Dave Chappelle, and I hate it, and Steubenville, but I hate Ohio. I do. The football team and everything. But we went there. And the reason we went there was we were hanging out with this group of people. And it was a mix of friends, okay? It wasn't just my typical friends from school. It wasn't just my typical, like, my people I hung with. It was like my friends that were my crew, and then a couple people they met. And then we met these people at a bar, and these couple girls, and we started hanging with them, and they had friends in Ohio. And it was kind of like this group. And we had this thing where it was like we were hanging out as a group, but we were kind of cross-mogenating groups. And then one person might have dated this person or maybe slept with this. But I don't, you know what I mean? It was just, you meet people at bars, things happen. And Ohio's not far from Michigan. I mean, especially if you're in Detroit. You can get there in like an hour, not even. But we went into Ohio, guys. We didn't just like cross over to Toledo. We went into Ohio. It's like a 2.5 hour drive, 3 hours, maybe. I don't know. And the reason we did is because they were having this big party. And one of the girls that I was hanging out with, that I met at the bar, was like, hey, you guys should come. We can crash at my friend's house after the party. We don't have to drive back. Like, it's going to be so much fun. Like, they back up to a cornfield, but there's this huge, barn. Like, they got DJs, music, kegs. It'll be fun. And I'm like, I'm up for that. Like, I'm up for an adventure. I'm down. Especially at that time in my life, I'm in. I'm not into going to Ohio with a cornfield. That's how horror movies start. And that's what I thought I was getting myself into. So we drove like 2 different cars. And we had half of us in one car and half of us in another car. We stopped at a bar in Detroit, did a quick shot, grabbed some food, drove down. Got to Ohio, went to like one of her friend's house, kind of did some pre-drinks there. And then we proceeded another 25 minutes outside of where her friend lived to this party. Now, yes, there was a town. But of course, the house wasn't in the town. The house was down some 2-lane dirt road, surrounded by trees and corn and houses with no lights on. Texas Chainsaw Massacre vibes, He'll Have Eyes. I mean, you name the movie, this is the vibe. And we drove, and we get there, And there's like, I'm going to say 30 cars just lined up before I could even see the house. And I'm like, oh, okay. We parked and we start to hear music. Mind you, I don't know any of these people except for the people I'm with, my friends, that's it. I don't know any of these people. Like, so we're in enemy territory. And I say that not just because we're in Ohio. I mean, I'm not a Michigan fan, so I got no dog in the fight, but I'm saying that because when you walk into a house and you're surrounded by what you assume most people know each other and have some sort of connection, and you're the outsider, you already got to be on guard. But you go into a house outside of an area, like I don't know this area. I don't know the layout of the house. I don't know the layout of the street. Something pops off. I don't know where to go. And I don't think there's anybody that's going to be friendly to me if something pops off. That's just my opinion. So I'm kind of on edge. But there's kegs outside and everybody seems real cool and we're hanging, drinking, we're playing beer pong, we're talking. It's random music from country to hip hop to, dude, I don't even know. And it's a beautiful night out. I mean, it's beautiful outside. Like, this is the fall. Okay. Oh, there's my pen. I was looking for this pen. Couldn't find it. Just found it. It's beautiful. And you got that cool air and, the breeze. And yeah, when you look past, like we're sitting outside, there's like a couple bonfires and there's the area, like the edge of the party outside. And I'm sitting there watching the edge of the party. And I'm like, God, it's like the ocean. When you're on the beach, you see those little white at night, you see the little white come over from the waves. And once you walk into that ocean, it doesn't take very long for it to be a sea of dark. That's what reminded me of, because like here I am, I'm sitting, I'm looking at the bonfire, I'm looking at the people behind it. I see a couple people behind the bonfire, and then it's just dark. And occasionally these little corn husks, trees, stalks would blow. And that's all I see. It's kind of creepy because you're thinking to yourself, I don't want to run in there. Number one, it's going to hurt. Number two, how am I going to get out of there? Like, I've done this game before. I don't want to do it. And I start watching around and I'm talking and I'm like, there's a lot more people back there than I thought. Your eyes start to really adjust as you focus in on the dark, or you focus in. It's like walking into a pitch black bedroom and you're like, you might know the bedroom, but then you start to kind of, okay, I see a little outline, or I can feel with my eyes that something's there. I start to see that a lot more. Like there's a lot of people that are on the edge, too close to the cornfield. That's weird. They can't all be peeing, but it sure seemed like more than I thought. And I'm walking, I get up and I walk. I go to my buddy and I go, you think it's weird that all those people are back there? And he looks, he's like, it's not like all those people. It's like a handful. I go, you think it's weird? It's weirding me out. And he's like, nah, man, it's fine. Okay. Mind you, been drinking a little, so I could just be in a weird mood. Me and the girl I was hanging out with and her friend and my buddy go inside. We walk up the stairs and they have this little like kind of it's not really like a patio. It is a patio, but it's just you open the door wall upstairs and you got like a couple chairs. It's a small patio outside a window, but it's not huge. There's just a couple people on there. We get on there and it was already too crowded, so we're getting ready to leave. They leave. They're like, nah, we're good. So we just hang out. I just wanted to kind of get into a different position. Don't ask me why. I just didn't want to be outside in the thick of it. And I look and I start to see those people that were in the quote unquote corn shadows move closer. But nobody's talking to them. And then I hear, hey, what are you doing here, man? I told you not to be here. And I'm like, oh, no. And you start hearing F-bombs. And I'm like, let's go. And you see a couple people literally come out of the cornfield. And he's like, man, I told you if you ever came here. And they're yelling. And then they're like, a couple other people ran out from the front. I'm like, we out. So as we get to go downstairs, I'm like, we're just going to get in our car and head back to her house. Like my friend's friend, the girl I was with, her friend's house. And we're not going to have any issues. We walk around to the car and we see this truck pull up and two people jump out of the bed of the truck. And I'm like, no, not doing this. So we roll around to the side behind the cars, the line of cars. And another truck pulls up and he's like, come on, they're in the back. And I'm like, oh. And we start hearing louder like noise, like maybe like somebody got mad and like threw something, you know what I mean? Like it sounded like a ruckus, you know, it wasn't like a specific sound, like almost like if you threw a metal trash can, that's what it sounded like. And I was like, oh, we got him. And then I was like, you start hearing girls yell and then you just hear a scream. So we book to go around further, like let's go, like we're behind this line of cars heading in the front, but mind you, this is a long driveway and we're trying to run along the side of the car so nobody can see us. And as we turn out, like we come out, I'm like, okay, we're further away from them. There's two dudes standing, like we're coming up from behind the cars. Like think about you're in a mall and there's cars lined up and you're walking between them. But this was on a dirt driveway. As we're walking, the two dudes turn like, hey, what are you doing? I'm like, we're going home, man. The guy goes, the F you are. You friends with him? I'm like, nah. How do you know about this party? I'm like, I don't know. Somebody in there invited us. And he's like, nah, man, you're staying here. And he starts walking closer. And I'm like, run. We dip back and we run. But instead of turning, we all go straight into the other cornfield. The thing I didn't want to do the most, we are now in the middle of a cornfield. And it's dark and it hurts and it's thick and we're all like holding hands. And I hear like, why were they in the cornfield, man? Get them. Who are they? What the? And I'm editing this out. And I'm like, we could be running in this corn. Ohio is a cornfield. We could be running in this cornfield forever. Corn sticking out of my butt, crazy weird things happening, children of the corn going on. Dude, scarecrows coming to life, freaky Jason. Who knows, man? And I'm like, all right, stop. Because like, we got to be quiet now. And we got to figure out how to get out of here. So we stop and we hear like ruffling from away. We hear yelling and it sounds far at this point. But as we got to the middle of the cornfield, I don't know if this is where the field's like separated because I'm not a farmer. It was bigger. Like you could have walked like 3 people wide, 4 people wide, no corn. So we sit there and I'm like, does anybody have a clue? Not a clue. And I'm like, if we go in the direction of the voices, that'll get us back to the house. That's not exactly something I want to do, but it's probably the direction we should go in to get to our car. You know, we should obviously get to the direction of that because I don't want to be stuck in a cornfield all night. So we're sitting and we hear them yelling. They're not really yelling. I don't even think they're yelling at us. I don't even think they're looking for us anymore. I think they're just whatever situation's happening is happening and they're just part of it. So we're hanging out, we're talking, and we start slowly making our way down this path towards the house. Except you get turned around at night in a cornfield. Somehow we landed by a creek. We crossed the creek. We saw a house And that's when we realized we had no clue where we were. Not only do we have no clue where we were, as we crossed onto the property of the house, immediately, not even to go up to the house, just to turn around and get our bearings, immediately floodlights come on and two dogs start barking and running towards us. We cross the creek back, we get into the cornfield again, and now we're just living in the corn. We are the children of the corn. We got floodlights and dogs, crazy Ohio people fighting hillbilly truck driver nonsense, and we're in children of the corn. We probably sat for 20 minutes on the ground in the corn before we said, we got to figure this out. And it got real quiet. We started to head in the direction of any sound that was familiar to us. And I mean familiar, like this sounds like it could be the house, because it's quiet between like crickets and birds and owls and wind. There's not much out there. It's not like you're in the middle of a city and people are talking. There's not much noise. You don't hear cars driving by. You're not by the highway. So any voice you're assuming has got to be from the party. And that's the direction we need to go to get the cars. I remember walking for what felt like hours, sore, cuts all over me, until we came out into a driveway. But there was no cars. So we didn't know if this was the driveway that we pulled up in. Could this be another driveway? And as we walked, we started to see the cars. We started to see the house. And we're like, okay, there's still that truck sitting right there. So nobody died. Maybe they all died. It's pretty quiet. And as we creeped, it took us probably like 5 minutes to find our car. And we had to roll it out of there. Very little gas. Turned it on, started it. Just to turn it. And pushed down the driveway. Till we got to a spot that we felt like was safe. Jumped in, turned it on, and we got out of there. Spent the night at this girl's house. The next morning, left back home. Done. Not my proudest moment. Ghosted. Don't want anything to do with Ohio people anymore. I'm out. I never text her back. Not a great idea, but you know what? You took me to a party where the giant beef with truck drivers happened. I almost got attacked by dogs. I'm lost in Ohio in a cornfield. I'm not into you anymore. I got corn coming out of every hole in my body, or going in every hole in my body. I got cuts yeah, no, Ohio's trash. Never doing that again. Don't really want to be part of that. And here's the thing. Don't know what happened. My buddy's like, oh, we should, connect with him a couple of days and just, see what happened. And I'm like, no, I'm good. I know they didn't have anything to do with it, maybe, but they told me everything was fine. It wasn't fine. I don't know if somebody didn't die that night. Like, they had trucks of people and were mad and were going to stop us, and they didn't even know who we were. This was some sort of Ohioan cornfield cult truck driver thing that I don't want to be a part of. So I ghosted. I'm sorry. I'm not proud of it, but I did it. Can't take it back. So the rule and the moral of the story is, don't go to Ohio and don't go to cornfields. Period. There you go. And that's my podcast this week. Why? Because I don't want to do a long one, and I'm tired, and it's a short story. Guys, remember I used to do that segment, Short Stories from an Average Joe? I'd have those little fun little stories or moments that were only like a 30-minute pod. Consider this a throwback. I'll be back next week. Much better episode. Take care.